In the previous year's spring gathering at Nipmuc, a neighboring Wampanoag town, acting rashly on false rumors that Converge had killed Plymouth's interpreter Tisquantum. Indeed, that spring, on the return journey home from Pokanoket, Converge would raise this encounter when Winslow assured him of Plymouth's good intentions, asking, "If your love is so great and it grows such good fruits, why is it that when you come to our places or we go to yours, you stand as if ready to fight, with the mouths of your gun pointed at us?" Yet despite the gun Winslow carried, the Sonq squaw responded to his arrival with diplomacy. She hosted Winslow and his small party, offering hospitality, food, and rest, as well as assistance and information. When she allowed Winslow to hire one of her runners to seek news from Pokanoket of Weetamee's status. Perhaps this impulse arose in part from her awareness of the danger of rumors in Winslow's hands, but it also arose from her responsibility as a leader, a choice she made about how to deal with this stranger in her space. Her response was emblematic of the ways in which Native leaders often acted as diplomatic hosts to unexpected European guests. Indeed, 2 years before, the Wabanaki leader, Samoset of Pemaquid, far up the coast, had greeted the startled newcomers at Patuxet, or Plymouth, in their language, saying, "Welcome, Englishmen." This reflected not only Indigenous diplomacy, but experience with over 100 years of trade, cultural, and linguistic exchange, as well as violence, disease, and captivity with Englishmen and other Western Europeans on the coast. Indeed, Samoset was one of many Wabanaki and Wampanoag men who had been captured by European explorers, learning a new language by necessity, and in his case, returning to serve as an intercultural diplomat. This exchange was not new to the Wampanoags or Wabanakis, who also had been traveling by canoe to exchange with each other for millennia. What was new about this encounter was that these Englishmen had come to stay, marking a discernible move from extractive colonialism, including the harvesting of trees and fish and the capture of indigenous bodies, to settler colonialism. These newcomers also carried a vision that Englishmen would replace the indigenous people, including women planters, as the rightful inhabitants of this land. Winslow's is the only account of this important woman in the Puritan narratives. She was a leader, the wife of Converge, and a relation to many. She experienced the arrival of the newcomers and their incorporation into native networks of exchange and diplomacy. She hosted Winslow and other leaders at her large home. Like other women, she cultivated and sustained the fields that fed the families. She felt the dire impacts of the diseases that ravaged her relations. Living through the epidemics and the first wave of colonization, she experienced unimaginable grief and loss. Yet she birthed and raised at least 2 daughters, Weetamoo, or Nipmuc, and Wutanakanoosk, who survived several epidemics as well as threats of violence to mature into leaders among their communities. Yet in Winslow's account, the significant mother and leader was not even named. Although well remembered within native New England communities, like her mother, Weetamoo has often not been named in the histories and literatures of early America, despite her prominent leadership role. Weetamoo emerged as the Sonq squaw of Pocasset after Converge's death, recognized by Weetamoo as his relation and true heir to the Pocasset Sogumship. In fact, the title of this book is taken from Weetamee's description of Weetamoo as our beloved cousin and kinswoman. An influential Wampanoag diplomat, Weetamoo presented a political and cultural challenge to the Puritan men who confronted her authority. Her strategic adaptation to the colonial deed game enabled her to protect more land than nearly any surrounding leader, a history explored in Chapter 1. She married Wamsata, Weetamee's eldest son, in a dual marriage alliance with their sister, Wutanakanoosk, and Wamsata's brother,